I'm on Stockton Market just outside the Apple Store in downtown San Francisco tonight. There's going to be protests all across the city, and this is one of them. It's slated to be one of the bigger ones here in Silicon Valley. It's happening in about 50 cities all across the U.S. in support of Apple and against the FBI's measure to try and get Apple to create a backdoor to the iOS. And we're about to go talk to some of the organizers and see what's going on. What brings you here tonight?
Yeah, so last week the FBI gave a court order to Apple to require them to create a backdoor into every iPhone that exists right now. They wanted to get into the phone of just the San Bernardino shooters, but the way that they actually wrote the court order, it requires Apple's backdoor to work on every single iPhone. And we're out here because that is a really dangerous precedent to set and actually endangers a lot of people.
How so? How do you figure?
Yeah, so encryption and security protocols are the things that keep us safe. They protect our power plants, our hospitals, our airports, our water treatment centers, and all sorts of other things as well. And creating a backdoor is literally introducing a security vulnerability that we can't actually guarantee will only be used for this one phone. There's not a way for us to actually guarantee it.
It seems like there's a lot of people in support of Apple in this situation here in Silicon Valley, but maybe not so much in the rest of the country, in the Midwest and other places. How do you plan to reach those people?
So we actually have 50 of these rallies around the country in all sorts of different cities. Some are in really large cities and urban areas here in New York, DC, but there are also plenty that are in smaller cities as well. And so this issue, protecting people's privacy, but also protecting people's security, is something that everybody cares about. And so we've heard a lot of people talking to their friends, talking to their neighbors, and honestly, it's something that's been covered enough in the press that I think it's something that's really starting to reach people, that security is something that really matters, and creating a backdoor into everybody's iPhone would undermine that security.
I'm here because the privacy and security of a device platform used by tens and hundreds of millions of people is at risk. And what we want to do is make sure that corporations aren't bent to serve the arbitrary whims of the state.
The FBI has kind of made this seem like it's part of just one phone getting information off of a terrorist iPhone. Right. Is that really what's happening in your view?
As a matter of fact, it is not what's happening. What the judicial order entered in Southern California requires, is for Apple to engineer new code that would erode its core security protocols. There's no way to comply with that order short of compromising the platform. This is absolutely about more than a single device. It's absolutely about more than a single investigation. And when we think about the way that security plays into this, security absolutely favors encryption. Encryption serves security, not undermining it.
And I understand that this is going to be what is perhaps going to be the biggest protest in all the country. There's about 50 cities around the country happening at 5:30 local time.
Yeah, there have been protests organized in dozens of cities. The Bay Area being the center of the tech community, we expect to be a more vibrant turnout. But it's clear that the support for these issues transcends the people who are able to come out today.
It seems like the country is actually split on this. Half of them aren't sure if we should be going after the terrorist iPhone, and half of them aren't sure why if we should let the FBI into a backdoor into our phones.
And I think one big part of the reason that the country is split is because the FBI is spinning the facts, right? They're claiming publicly that it's about a single phone when it's not. They're claiming publicly that this is about a terrorism investigation when it's really about a power grab. And these are issues that the public is not grappling with. And it's part of a pattern of intelligence agencies grabbing power opportunistically, using unfortunate events as an available opportunity. And that's crass. These events should not be opportunities for anyone, including the intelligence agencies.
It's also kind of interesting that you're here at the Apple Store in support of Apple, which is something maybe a little unusual.
Right. Yeah, it's really nice to have an opportunity to praise some best practices for a change. It's not common either that governments or corporations lead the pack. And this is an area where Apple has seemingly sincerely adopted the interests of its customers and its users and the internet as a whole, and is doing the right thing.
Yeah, and some people might argue that protests don't really do much. What are you hoping to see happen tonight?
What I really want to see today is a visual demonstration of support for a company taking a challenging position in the face of government abuses. And I don't think it's a matter of when the war broke out, we were mobilizing hundreds of thousands of people in cities across the country. This is not that moment. But I do hope and expect to see a very diverse cross-section of the local community supporting privacy, security, and international human rights in the face of the government's attacks.
All right, thank you so much.